observation deck?
Sorry, man, but it's too late.
No, please, I really need to get up there.
We're closing up. No more runs tonight.
I'm Vanessa Zoltan.
I'm Hannah McGregor.
And this is Hot and Bothered.
Listen, can I just take a look? There's someone I was supposed to meet. He's probably not there, but if I don't at least look, I'll always wonder about it.
Cary Grant, right?
You know that movie?
One of my wife's favorites.
Hannah, this week we are looking at the happily ever after scene of Sleepless in Seattle. We don't just think that romantic movies should be looked at closely. We think that these final scenes tell us a lot. So every other week, that is what we're going to do. We're going to pay very close attention to the last scene of the film that we have watched. Can you please summarize what happens in this HEA, happily ever after scene?
Yeah. And what a doozy of an HEA, because it is simultaneously our happily ever after and arguably our meet cute, because it is the first time that they actually meet each other and exchange words.
No, they say hello to each other in the middle of a highway.
Because it's the first time that they meet and physically touch one another.
Fair. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, Annie has just broken up with Walter. She's run to the Empire State Building and she arrives seemingly just in time before it closes. But no, the security guard says the last elevator has gone up. She can't go. She convinces him to let her up by making an allusion to an affair to remember, which works because it's the security guard's wife's favorite movie.
Obviously.
Annie is allowed into the elevator at the same moment Sam and Jonah board an elevator going down. And then we see the other elevator door open and Annie comes out. They've missed each other. She asks for a moment to just walk around the observation deck and think about what could have been.
Grieve.
And she finds an abandoned backpack. And like an absolute frickin' creep, she immediately opens it.
No. Hard disagree. Continue, but hard disagree.
And then, listen, this summary might be slightly editorial. She opens this backpack. She sees a teddy bear. She pulls out the teddy bear and is standing there holding this teddy bear when Sam and Jonah reappear looking for the missing backpack. Sam and Annie exchange introductions, as do Jonah and Howard the teddy bear. Everybody finally finds out what everybody's name is. And then Sam says, it's time to go. And for a moment, Annie thinks this is a rejection, but then he reaches out his hand to take hers to indicate that she is part of the we that will be going. And as they head into the elevators and the plucky opening notes of Jimmy Durante's Make Someone Happy start up,
it's so important to make someone happy.
She says, Sam, it's nice to meet you. And the film ends.
Heart to heart, you sing
Sam.
to one.
It's nice to meet you.
Smile that cheers you. One face that lights when it nears you.
Da, 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 da.
Nora Ephron insisted on that song in particular. Like, Jimmy Durante was not a particularly popular musician at the time. It was a real throwback song, and this was her insistence that this was the song. Make someone happy, make just one someone happy.
Can I now push back to one of the things you editorialized on?
It's creepy to open the backpack. Just give it to a security guard.
Okay, just give it to a security guard. But sometimes you look, because what if there's contact information and then you can contact the person yourself?
The security guard will do that. There's people who are employed by the building who will take care of it.
I don't think there's anything wrong with being like, I can do this myself. I lived on a college campus and I cannot tell you how many wallets I found. I guess like a whole college campus doesn't necessarily have like a central lost and found. And mind you, I lived in a different time, but I would look who it is, Google them, and email them.
You find a backpack on the street, absolutely open that backpack, look for contact information. You find a backpack somebody forgot on the observation deck of the Empire State Building. There's a security guard standing right there. Just hand them the backpack. Oh, somebody forgot this.
But you don't know if they're going to be as good of a person as you. I always assume that I'm the best person.
Wow.
If you only knew how not true that was.
That's the new episode. Let's unpack this. I mean, security guards obviously are cop proximate, and I'm not pro cop, but it's for me, the fact that she immediately is like, a backpack. Whoop, let's see what's in here. I'm just like,
she's a journalist, Hannah. Okay. Can I tell you something that this scene really teaches me?
Yes.
Which is that this movie believes you can tell if you have magic with someone by hand holding. So, and this is the third time that the movie says this to us in one form or another. In the scene in which Annie and her mom are talking about magic, Annie's mom says, with your father, I just knew. The second he touched me, I knew. And then she's like, that we would be great in the sack, but right, that also that we would be together forever and everything would be wonderful. Then when Sam is talking to Dr. Marcia Fieldstone, or Dr. Marcia, as she likes to be called, she says, when did you and your wife fall in love? When did you know that she was the one for you? And he says, it was so simple. It was just a moment where I was taking her hand to help her out of the car. I took her hand and I knew. And then again, here, Tom Hanks, Sam, reaches out in this great shall we line and takes her hand. And then there's this smile, right? This hand holding is so magical that even though Jonah's not part of it, he smiles. Like one of the arguments of this movie is just like chemistry. You hold someone's hand and it just feels right.
Yeah. And that is being argued for us by, you know, the way that camera is operating in the scene, right? We get a close up of their two hands. That is really vital. And boy, in that moment, that hand close up, I was like, heterosexuality is a rich text, huh? Like those hands, those are such gendered hands that are holding each other in that moment. But also, what a fabulous performance on the part of both Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks to convincingly embed that magic moment of chemistry in that scene, because they do have really good chemistry and they haven't been on screen together for the rest of the movie.
Yeah. The other thing that this scene, especially this final tableau, which is a shot of like Annie, Sam, Jonah, and Howard the bear, is like, and this is what a family looks like. And mother makes 3, and teddy bear makes 4. But like, this is a tableau of a complete family where just a minute ago, Sam was saying to Jonah, you're all I've got. You get this last shot of the 3 of them on this elevator. And it's like, and now it's complete.
Yeah. So there is something there about what makes a family for sure, that is rooted in all kinds of heteropatriarchal scripts about what constitutes family. And there's also kind of an idea that like once you've found the person who you have magic with, the rest will just kind of happen.
Are they going to move to Baltimore? Is she going to move to Seattle? Who can tell?
All of the like complex nitty gritty of an actual relationship spanning multiple decades. Don't worry about that. They held hands. It's fine. And that is, you know, that's part of the fabric of a lot of happily ever afters, part of the sort of logic of we have to believe that whatever follows this is going to be happy. Otherwise, the success of the romantic narrative is under threat. And it's why, so many feminist texts are interested in subverting what happens next. But it is so, so bold to have the happily ever after be touching each other's hands and introducing yourself and being like, that's it. That's actually all it took.
So I would posit that the actual last move of the movie is Jonah smiling. That like the last action, right? Like I'm picturing Nora Ephron as the director being like, okay, now Annie and Sam look at each other and Jonah smile. Like that's the last action. And the reason that I feel like I want to argue that is that one of my favorite lines in any movie ever is in a favorite rom-com of mine called The Philadelphia Story with Katharine Hepburn and Cary Grant and Jimmy Stewart in a love triangle. And Katharine Hepburn's little sister really wants Katharine Hepburn to end up with Cary Grant, and they do end up together. And the last line of the movie is this younger sister, a little bit older than Jonah, but a kid going, I did it. I did it all. And that is what that Jonah smile is to me. He's content, but it also is slightly mischievous of like, haha, I did it.
'Cause he did.
He super did.
Like he really did. To the extent that it's like, I don't know, did he leave that backpack there on purpose? Like hard to say how deep this conspiracy goes or exactly how wily Jonah is, but he has orchestrated this encounter in order to create the family unit that he wants. The way I said that sounded kind of nefarious. It's not. It is fine for a child to want a mother, but it is very much, he was like the motivating force behind the fact that they actually managed to meet up.
And that reminds me of something we were talking about last week when you were wondering if this movie was in part about sort of a fear around the end of modern masculinity, which is Sam is the only one who had to be dragged to the top of the Empire State Building, right? It is the woman and the child who are like making everything happen. And it is the man who's being dragged along. And I don't have anything concrete to say about that. It's just an observation in this moment. But Sam is like the doofus here, except that he goes, shall we? And puts out his hand. Like that is the only action he takes is putting out his hand to Annie.
I mean, wild that he doesn't say, oh, it's you. Why the heck were you staring at me across the street in Seattle a few days ago? That was weird. What were you doing there? Have you been following me?
That conversation is coming.
I should hope so. Yeah, I guess in a sense, Jonah is kind of giving big Parent Trap energy. Do we think this recurring figure of the meddling child who is behind the scenes sort of bringing couples together, what do we make of that as a trope of the rom-com?
I'm just thinking of like the other movies where there are like precocious children who are part of getting couples together, right? The Goodbye Girl with Marsha Mason and Richard Dreyfuss. I like just have to put an asterisk of a pet peeve here, which is children who are written to speak like adults. And like that is what's charming, is that the kid talks like a 35-year-old and you have a little body saying that.
Like a 40-year-old screenwriter.
Yeah. And I think that Nora Ephron is the screenwriter on this really skirts that. I think Jonah, for the most part, sounds like a kid, right? I want this one. Why not Annie? Annie likes this catcher and you like this catcher, right? Like he has kid logic in a beautiful way. But I don't know. My first thought is that one of the reasons for romantic love is to start a family in this like heteronormative agenda, right? Like this is to propagate the species. And it's a very conservative idea that a kid needs a primary couple so much that like they will meddle for it.
Oh, yeah. That's such a good point, because underneath that is a subtext of it is doing harm to a child to not provide them with that. And so the child is seeking to repair something that has gone wrong, and that the primary responsibility, and according to this logic of reproductive heteronormativity, the primary role of the romantic couple is to reproduce more white children for the white nation. And so when that has fallen apart, the child who is the center of the sort of function of this relationship is the one who has to step in and sort of return things to their quote unquote natural order.
Yeah, it's like this little magical elf that comes and is like, no, this is how it's supposed to be. You adults, you've been distracted by other things that aren't as important, but let me remind you, this is actually what's important.
Me and Howard know what's up.
Yeah, Howard knows so much. Don't forget to kiss Howard.
Okay, can we talk about one other moment that I sort of mentioned in my summary but has really stuck with me?
Please.
And it is the security guard letting Annie up because An Affair to Remember is one of his wife's favorite movies.
I think this actor's performance is amazing. The way he waves his hand and goes, go on. Yeah. I'm like, I know people who make that exact hand gesture. Sir, you're incredible.
I love him. I love the sort of hard done by, but he's still got a little bit of the romantic in him. But it's so telling that in that moment, he's not An Affair to Remember. All right, go on. That there must be interposed into his recognition of the romantic trope the presence of a woman. It can't possibly be that the security guard knows or, heaven forfend, likes An Affair to Remember. It's got to be his wife's favorite. Because the work of romance is the work of women.
I think that is absolutely going on. I just think it's simultaneously two things. I think it's that, right? I only know this movie because of my wife, but also I love my wife so much that I'm going to do this for you, kind of for her, right? In her name. I do think it's a romantic gesture toward his wife. It would make my wife happy if I did this. I don't know. His wife might be mad at this. He's now going to have to stay later at work on Valentine's Day rather than come home, maybe to her, while she's in, a sexy outfit just to let cute Meg Ryan go up to the Empire State Building top. I don't know, right? It's this, we've been married for 30 years and I still love my wife and will do ridiculous things for her. Charming thing.
Yeah. And it's also this men themselves cannot have direct access to romance or emotional labor in general. It always needs to be mediated through a woman, which is a thing that I see not only in so many romantic texts, but also in so many heterosexual relationships.
Yeah.
And there's always, for me, part of it that's it's a bit of a bummer that the only reason this guy is emotionally literate enough in this moment to let her go up is because a woman taught him how to be.
Yeah. Yeah. If there was one thing that you could rewrite about this ending, what would it be?
Exact same ending, teddy bear stays in bag.
So Jonah opens the bag because we need to see Annie know how to interact with Jonah, and asking Howard's name, asking the teddy bear's name is a great way, right? Shows that she understands how to interact with Jonah. Whereas Victoria, the girlfriend back home who Sam had to fly away from as they were going to have a romantic Valentine's weekend, and now he is going to break up with her after cheating on her, right? She has not figured out how to communicate with Jonah. We've just seen Sam sort of say about Jonah, he's 8 to her. And she says, it's an insult, he's good at it. Whereas Annie is yeah, he's 8. Introduce me to your teddy bear. So I disagree. We need to see Annie with the teddy bear.
Jonah can open the bag. It's just, okay. It's okay. What about you, Vanessa? What would you change about this final scene?
I think I would do something that you were joking about, I would add a beat between Sam and Annie, right? All we hear is him say, "It's you." And she goes, "It's me." I would add a like, "What are you doing here? I'll tell you later." I need evidence other than camera movement, hand holding, that like this is magical. I want them to say the same word at the same time. I want them to like have a moment of witty repartee. I want a moment of genuine connection between these two, because we have watched them be apart for so long that this just wraps up too quickly for me. And I get the point, right? Like finding the person is what this movie is about. And essentially they found each other. They are puzzle pieces. They are going to be fine now. I wouldn't mind just being like, no, really. They were puzzle pieces.
Yeah. No, really. No, but wait, really.
Yeah, I want no, really.
I love the intervention of, wait, what were you doing in Seattle? It's a long story. I don't do.
I'm not saying that I wrote the solution to this.
No, that's my headcanon from now on.
What do I want? What do I want them to say to each other? You're the one who loves that catcher? I don't know. Well, I love baseball too. Don't worry, I have no allergies. Oh, good. I don't know. Something.
Then he just pulls a strawberry out of the knapsack and eats it.
So next week, Hannah, we are watching another Meg Ryan classic, When Harry Met Sally. Harry, no allergies.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to this. I've never seen this movie before.
I must have known that and found it so horrifying that I blocked it. Oh my God. Are you going to watch the movie or are you going to let me act it out for you? Which would you prefer?
What I would really like is if you could fly to Vancouver real quick, and while I'm watching the movie, if you could act it out simultaneously.
Absolutely. Or just recite all the lines under my breath because I can't help myself. That always adds a soupçon of something very important, a je ne sais quoi, if you will, to a film-going experience.
Oh, how she's having. That's the only part I know.
It's a perfect part. You've been listening to Hot and Bothered. We are a small show, so we need your support to run. If you can, please consider supporting us on Patreon at patreon.com/hotandbotheredrompod. If you love the show, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you are listening. If you don't like the show, then go listen to something else. We are a Not Sorry production. Our executive producer is me, Vanessa Sultan. We are edited and produced by Ariana Nettleman, and we are distributed by Acast. My beautiful and wonderful and brilliant co-host is Hannah McGregor. Thanks as always to our soulmate level patrons, Molly Reilly, who we would chase through an airport to declare our love to, Becky Boo, who we would wait for hours on the Empire State Building for, Elizabeth Schweisberg, whose heart we would play a game of one-on-one basketball for, Lauren Byer O'Connell, who we would call up on stage to dance with us in front of the whole summer camp, and Claudia Hammerman, who we would give the whole door to float on, even if there was room for both of us. And to our wonderful team, Julia Argy, Nikki Zoltan, AJ Uramas, Courtney Brown, Natalie Folkerts, and Stephanie Paulsell. Talk to you next week, everyone.